Think about it. Think about it.
The bass kick. Let the bass kick. Let the bass kick.
Think about it.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome inside the Woburn Public Media Center studio for tonight's girls varsity basketball matchup between the Melrose Red Raiders and your hometown Woburn Tanners. Alongside my broadcast partner Zeke Altman, I am Joey Matroni. Zeke, how are you feeling about tonight's matchup?
Oh, I'm feeling so excited, and this is a big revenge game. I know they lost their first matchup, but this is bigger than that. A loss in the quarterfinals last year of the tournament, in the MIA tournament, against a good Wachusett side, but against a Melrose side that didn't make a tournament, this could set off their season in a very positive way. Joey?
There are going to be some differences in tonight's game, minus
a good Hannah Surratt, who is a senior captain.
they're going to have to look to the more of a post presence between Megan Quayle and Cindy Labissiere, and then look to dish it out to the perimeter to people like Amber Hayden and McKenna Morrison, who after some debate will be on the floor tonight.
Yeah, McKenna Morrison questionable coming into this game. She will make an appearance tonight after 10 points against St. Mary's. She looks to be a big part of this basketball team, along with the likes of Cindy Labissiere and Megan Quayle. And you look, that presence in the paint that Megan Quayle and Cindy Labissiere have, you look at them. You have girls like McKenna Morrison and Amber Hayden in the corners. You dish it out to them, they can knock down a triple.
That's for sure. That matchup against St. Mary's was overall a good outcome for the Tanners, going up against a team that's first in the state and only getting a respectable score of 50-48. And at the half of that game, the Tanners went in up 2 by a score of 35-33, and it was only a matter of the Spartan defense tightening up just enough for them to get the 2-point win.
Well, yeah, Joey, and one thing about this team that's special is the boys and the girls have the same amount of popularity. This girls team is so fluent, so good at their passing, shooting. They're just a great team, led by Coach Steve Sullivan. And they had losses with Jenna Taylor and Casey Dangora and Carly Dangora, the Dangora twins. But their leadership, Cindy Labissiere, who just committed to Lehigh University for soccer, Megan Quayle, who is an amazing volleyball player. All these different athletes and different all-around people, players, athletes are going to have to get it done if they want to overcome the losses of those other girls. So, Joey, can this team make it back into the playoffs?
I think you could see them easily make it back into the playoffs, but I know their goal is to make it even further than they did before. That first round exit against Wachusett was obviously not what they wanted, and it ended in not a sort of fashion that you like to see from a team. But you know, with the leadership from Coach Sullivan, they're going to find themselves back in the postseason.
Okay, and it is time for the introduction of our players. We'll take you to center court now for our game.
There you go.
Starting lineup for Melrose. Number 1, Scarlett Adio.
Yo, Anthony, turn on the...
Number 2, Captain Sophia Smith. Number 10, Captain Chloe Gentili. Number 23, Captain Megan Casey. And number 33, Captain Dia Clarkovich. Introducing the starting lineup for the Tanners. Number 1, McKenna Morrison. Number 31, Shannon McCarthy. Number 24, Captain Amber Hayden. Number 23, Captain Cynthia Rosier. And number 11, Captain Megan Quaid. Would everyone now please rise and remove your caps for the playing of our national anthem.
And what a rendition of the Star-Spangled Banner. We are so set and ready for the tip-off of the first home game of this Woburn Lady Tanners season. And we have our starting lineup announced: Meg Quayle, Cindy Labissiere, Shannon McCarthy, McKenna Morrison, and Amber Hayden. Is there any surprises with that?
No, I think that's what you expected going into tonight, but the hope was that McKenna Morrison would be able to go, and just like that, she's in the starting lineup, so you know you're going to be able to see the outside shooting of someone like Morrison, who we mentioned scored 10 points in just the first quarter in the season opener against St. Mary's.
And the two people to look out for on Melrose are the likes of Sophia Smith and Chloe Gentile, who are the two captains for Melrose. So we are set and ready to go for this Tanners girls season as Megan Quayle takes the tip, and the girls will win the tip. Number 24, Amber Hayden to Megan Quayle, and she will get 2 points to start off the game.
Quayle cuts right in off the tip, and Hayden ends up finding her an easy bucket to get it started.
Number 3, Sophia Smith with the ball. Back to Sophia Smith. Sophia Smith will shoot for 3 and miss it, and it will go out of bounds. Tanners basketball. What do you see out of that first defensive possession for the Tanners?
Forcing the outside shot is, I think, what the Tanners want to do. Is you want to limit the amount of easy layups attempted in a game as Labissiere around the elbow, back outside.
Morrison gonna take a jump shot around the free throw line. Misses. Morrison with the rebound. Back out to McCarthy. We'll reset. Labissiere with the ball on the wing, on the left wing. And what a pass! And McCarthy just short on the layup there, but what a read by Labissiere. And here is Melrose back with the ball. Scarlett Daddio back to Smith, who they love with the ball in her hands. Moves it out to Drahinja Vlahovic. And they're gonna reset here. Megan Quayle caught in a pick. Good defense by Shannon McCarthy. Good switching by the Tanners, and they're off. Morrison driving in, passes it to Quayle. Outside to Hayden, and just short with the shot. Hayden with the rebound, and goes in hard and gets the foul. 2 shots.
That possession really started from the defense all around, and then McCarthy ends up with the ball and starts the fast break right away.
Great pursuit there by Hayden, and she will have 2 shots at the line. And Joey, the player to look out for Melrose, it looks early, is Sophia Smith. She loves to have the ball in her hands, and it's interesting how much Melrose want the ball in her hands.
Front end of the free throws for Hayden is good.
Good rebound by McCarthy there off the free throw. Morrison in for the fight, and it will be a jump ball. Melrose will take possession here with the inbounder Drahinja Vlahovic. Vlahovic will find Megan Casey.
Back to Vlahovic, still waiting to get across half court. Now they do with Casey.
Casey will dribble, find the baseline, and what a move past McCarthy, and she will come up short with the layup, and Labissiere out ahead. Labissiere across the free throw line. Hayden for 3 off the backboard, but McCarthy with the rebound.
Left-hand layup found the perfect position, and it's a second chance basket for the Tanners.
And a little fumble here. Morrison will get the basketball off the inbound, take a 3, miss it, and it will be back Melrose possession, rebounded by number 10, Chloe Gentile, and here's Smith with the ball once again.
Smith is who the offense seems to run through as Melrose initially gains possession.
Quayle in to try to steal the ball. Back out to number 23, Megan Casey. And a 3 taken here by number 1, Scarlett Daddio. Airball, but rebound by Sophia Smith. Sophia Smith will take a shot. Another airball. And no signal yet. It will be Woburn basketball.
Nice pursuit there on defense from Hayden, and the Tanners will gain possession with Quayle taking the ball up for the first time tonight.
Morrison will find McCarthy at the elbow. McCarthy will turn around, take a jump shot off the backboard and off the rim. And it's Melrose back with the ball. Woburn up 5-0 with 5 left in the first quarter. Screen left, Morrison picks it up well. Scarlett Daddio will not find Amber Hayden once again with the pursuit for the basketball. Her pursuit for that basketball is just inspirational to start this few minutes.
She's been the defensive anchor with the energy on that end for the Tanners and looking to quickly turn it into offense if she's able to get a better grip on the basketball there.
And she must be tired as junior Riley Morgan will make her first appearance in the game. Shot here by Melrose, airballed again, 3 straight shots airballed. Morrison just misses Labissiere over her head, finds Sophia Smith. Some good passing here by Melrose.
Good initial elbow defense from Morgan on her initial entrance.
Smith with Labissiere. Now Morgan tested for the first time on defense. Moves it around. Quayle tested. A pick, a good switch by McCarthy. And Morrison steps right up on defense. Now it's Quayle in the post versus number 10, Chloe Gentile. Now it's Daddio. And a shot is taken from number 23, Megan Casey, and she is fouled.
Morgan seemed to get a piece of the arm there, and Red Raiders will shoot 2 on the shooting foul.
And to keep track of fouls here, that's Morgan's first, and it's the first team foul.
Front end is good for the first points of the night for Melrose.
Interesting to see how well the Tanners can shoot from the free throw line. That was one of their few struggles last season as a team. As Morgan gets the ball here, lays it off to Labissiere. Labissiere will drive hard with a nice spin move, throws up the floater, just misses.
Great speed on the drive, but couldn't do it all by herself.
33, Georgina Vakovic is going to put up the layup, but Morgan with the great rebound there. And Labissiere will look to pass here, finds Morrison. Morrison finds Morgan. Labissiere at the free throw line, just misses. Both teams a little shaky from the field to start off the game, with the score being 5-1 with 3:20 left in the first quarter.
Casey handles the ball. Now gets it out to the wing.
Not many stoppages in this game so far. Vlahovic will see the ball here with Morrison, and Quayle with active hands there to push the ball out of bounds. These girls have shown intent, as 2 subs will come back into the game, as that looks to be number 31, Shannon McCarthy, back into the game. And let's see that. And a missed throw by Melrose there, as Woburn will get possession back. Morrison looks to be the point guard, as Brooke Tuzlo into the game now. The lineup looking like McCarthy, Tuzlo, Morrison, Morgan, and here's Hayden with the 3. High arcing, just off the front rim. McCarthy with the rebound, with a little help from Morrison. She will go into the paint and draw a foul.
Nice battle there for the rebound, and it's another second chance opportunity. This one resulting in free throws for McCarthy.
And this is an important point here to make about this Lady Tanners team, with Brooke Tuzlo, who's a sophomore, Shannon McCarthy, who's a sophomore, McKenna Morrison, who's a sophomore, Riley Morgan, a junior. This is a very young team with a very bright future. They were amazing last season. They look to be impressive again this season, but it doesn't look like it's stopping anytime soon, Joey.
The young core meshes very well with the senior leadership from girls like Labissiere, Quayle, and Hayden, who we've seen all over the floor tonight to start this game, as there's pressure on the inbound.
Taking up the floor, Vlahovic has the ball on Tuzlo, and with a good defense by Tuzlo, McCarthy will catch the pass and will turn it over. Morrison with some good dribble moves will cross half court. Here's Morgan, McCarthy with the pick. Tuzlo will put up the 3. Rebounded by McCarthy.
Another second chance opportunity.
Morrison with the 3. And it will miss and go out of bounds. A lot of chances from 3 here by the Tanners. Still haven't converted, but good active hands on the rebound so far to start this game.
I think as they get more opportunities to get those second chance points, the more those baskets will start to fall, as they'll become more comfortable shooting from the field.
As it is early in the season, the rust has still not came off for both of these teams, as it is a very low-scoring game.
Second straight possession with pressure on the inbound.
Looks to be the Lady Tanners' game plan here. Quayle back into the game with Labissiere. As those breaks for those 2 girls will not be too long, as they are the stars of this team by far.
Hayden inbounds to Labissiere, and she'll get another opportunity to bring the ball up for the Tanners.
Labissiere with a Euro step, just rolls off the rim. Quayle with another second hands point. Hayden with a missed shot, and Labissiere with another offensive rebound. We've lost count in the studio here. Morgan into McCarthy. McCarthy looks around, puts up a shot, and it's good. What a good right-hand hook there by McCarthy.
Finally a conversion on the second chance points, and as we said, the integrity will eventually pay off.
Coach Sullivan has always been known for using his subs fast and efficiently. So that will be something to see here as Morrison taken out of the game about 1 minute and 30 seconds ago and is right back into the game.
A little bit of extra contact there from Hayden caused the foul call as the front end is good.
Morrison will come back into this game. And the lineup right now on the floor is Labissiere, Quayle, Morrison, McCarthy.
Diadio goes 2 for 2 from the line. 9-3 in favor of the Tanners.
Labissiere will take up the ball. Morrison will find Morgan, who's that fifth gal on the floor right now. Morrison will drive into the paint and put up a floater right off the back of the rim.
Good set play there by the Tanners off the made free throws, but basket to no avail.
And there's a scramble for the ball here. Smith lost it. Melrose got it back. Courtesy of Daddio.
Off ball contact, no whistle, play goes on.
And Melrose will put up a three, and that is good. Lily Nolan off the bench as it tightens the score up to 9-6. Lily Nolan and Ava Tormo making a big impact off the bench on that play. McCarthy finds into the paint and will put it up and one. McCarthy will get hacked and put up the shot and score.
What a pass by Morrison again to find McCarthy. That one had some heat on it, and it's perfectly placed into the basket of McCarthy, and it's a basket and the foul.
And it's a timeout from the Tanners here. So Joey, let's talk about the Tanners' defense so far. Melrose has been scrambling for their lives, I feel like.
Yeah, the Tanners have been able to match up well so far, not allowing much open space to be found on the floor, and the rebounding on both ends has been good. We've all mentioned numerous times already the offensive boards, which have gotten so many second chance opportunities, and the most recent one resulted in an extra basket for the Tanners.
So, off the benches, we've seen in mostly the first quarter, 22 seconds left, we've seen off the benches, Lily Nolan has hit a three, Ava Tormo has gotten some clutch rebounds for Melrose, and off the bench for the Lady Tanners, Riley Morgan has played a ton of minutes here, along with girls like Brooke Tuzolo and girls like Shannon McCarthy, who has played a big impact on the offensive board. So yeah, this is just a well-run team by Steve Sullivan, and Shannon McCarthy, who of course is a starter. But this team has shown a great amount of energy to start the game.
Just a quick thought on the Red Raiders before we get back into game action. As you mentioned, the production off the bench is, I think, something that they've needed thus far, as it seemed to be a slow start for the starters with only 6 points still up on the scoreboard for Melrose. As McCarthy will now have an opportunity to convert the N1. Her free throw is good.
Daddio with the ball here. Flicked on by Morrison. Morrison will get the board. Morgan will fly on the ground, but Smith ends up with the basketball. Labissiere blocks the passing lane and will be out of bounds with 12 seconds left. Melrose basketball under the basket.
Nice hands by Morrison to get contact before the ball crosses half court. However, the Red Raiders able to get it back into their offensive zone. This time it's stolen by Labissiere, who's running the fast break, dumps it off. Fights for the rebound, but it's taken in by Melrose.
Daddio with the board, and that will end the first quarter of action with a score of 12-6 in favor of Woburn. So Joey, that was a good first quarter of action. We saw Morgan, we saw Tuzolo. What would you like to see more of from the Tanners?
I think there's two main things that seem to be the story of this first quarter for the Tanners. It's the offensive rebounding and the active hands. I think the active hands are making the Red Raiders think more when penetrating the ball throughout the offensive sets, and then, as we've constantly said so far, the offensive rebounds just giving the Lady Tanners more offensive opportunities.
I think overall the Tanners have played so much better than Melrose. 12-6, but it could be 18-6 right now. Tanners have got a lot of open shots, haven't knocked them down, but they'll start knocking them down. They're a good basketball team, very skilled, and with Coach Steve Sullivan, baskets will start knocking down, and Melrose will stop looking as somewhat decent as they look so far into this game. What do you like about what do you want to see more of stopping Melrose from getting lucky?
I think it's I don't mind much of the defense that's happening so far. I think the Tanners have been able to get into the passing lanes and shut off lanes as quickly as they can for penetration, and it's just more of the same.
More of the same is right, Joey. And looks like the second quarter will come underway now with Quayle inbounding the ball to Morrison as the second quarter is underway.
Morrison will take it across the timeline over to Labissiere on the elbow. She'll wait as the Tanners move around. Back to Morrison, who looks inside to McCarthy, who has the opportunity to drive, floats it up off the hands of Quayle and out of bounds, going the Red Raiders' way.
And Joey, a big emphasis on that first quarter. One of the big performers for the Tanners, Shannon McCarthy. Tell us a little bit about her.
She's been that post presence that we talked about was necessary at the top of the show, but it wasn't exactly who we thought it would come from. But McCarthy's been a good addition so far. Loose ball taken in by Morgan, and she's running the fast break on her own. Now waits for the teammates as she slows up. Labissiere wants the ball, gets it. Back outside. McCarthy finds Quayle, who is fouled, and she'll shoot two.
Joey, the passing of this Woburn Tanners team, the consistent moving of the ball and off-ball movement is just impressive. The way Labissiere and Quayle, the stars, move off the ball, the picks they set. It's just a great sight to see when we watch this Tanners girls basketball team.
Quayle's first is off the front of the rim and no good. 12-6 Tanners with 7:15 left to go in the first half, just 45 seconds into this second quarter of play. Quayle's second is nothing but nylon.
And we talk about McCarthy, Joey. 9 points, 3 rebounds in that first quarter. 9 of Woburn's 12 points, which is impressive as Labissiere gets the steal here. Questions if she got out of bounds there, but the answer would be yes, as Melrose will retain possession. Or Woburn will retain possession. There must have been a foul call there that we missed.
Hayden will inbound to Morrison as she'll take it across half court. Labissiere movement off ball, now shovels it back to Morrison, who finds inside to Quayle. It's a wide open cutting Labissiere. Her left hand layup is good.
And Joe, there's an example of the cuts that this basketball team makes. That was just beautiful to see Labissiere fly through the paint with a wide open layup, because we know Labissiere is always knocking that down. With Morrison, with active hands, Joey. This is inspirational to watch if you want to watch a defensive team like the Woburn Tanners.
Morrison was able to realize that Smith was struggling with handling the ball, and she finally timed it right, got a hand in there, and knocked the ball loose. All in all, the Red Raiders will retain possession. The inbound goes to Lily Nolan.
Daddio brings it past half court.
Back to Nolan now, who's picked up by Quayle. Screened is Quayle now inside, and the floater's no good. Rebounded by Hayden and out to Morrison, who will run the play, who now drives in on her own, floats it up, no good. Offensive rebound, another second chance opportunity, and she finds the wide open Hayden for a layup off the glass.
Morrison puts up that floater, wide open, misses, but notice that she missed an easy shot and got the rebound right back as Labissiere flies across the paint to get that basketball, to try to block that basketball. Quayle with the rebound and the awareness to find Labissiere, who will go coast to coast and score a layup there as Melrose are left scrambling.
Another example of full court pressure from the Tanners. It's knocked loose again. But now we've got another battle for it as Vajokovic knocks it away and gets it back for the Red Raiders. Their layup's no good. Back out to the mid-range. That one's no good. And this time it is rebounded by the Tanners, and Labissiere will take it up with pace. Blocked. Rebound is good, and the layup goes to Hayden. Fast-moving pace to start the second quarter all around for these two teams. Ball's loose on the floor again. And Morrison ends up with it, looking for Labissiere, who finds Quayle, who's wide open. And it's another easy layup for the Tanners.
And Melrose needed to call a timeout there. They had no choice. Their girls were exhausted. The pure fight of this Tanners team is just incredible. And their energy levels, you can tell Coach Sullivan has gotten up to some conditioning with this team, and Melrose hasn't. They look gassed out there, Joey.
Yeah, the Tanners look like they're on their feet, ready to go, and we're just leaving the Red Raiders defense in the dust thus far.
Yeah, Joey. McCarthy, as we said, 9 points, 3 rebounds just in that first quarter, and she continues to do it. But now it's to Quayle. Labissiere can score, but she can pass just as well. As you could see with that cut, Labissiere scored the layup, and then she threw a beautiful pass out there on that fast break to Quayle, who laid it up and in. As the refs call for the timeout to end, interesting. What do you think Coach Sullivan is saying to her girls, his girls right now?
I think Coach Sullivan has to love what he's seeing so far, as the pace and energy has lessened the impact of the Red Raiders defense. And more of what's happening, I think, is what the Tanners want, to keep the offensive outburst going, as with 4:49 left, they've got a 17-point lead to work with.
It was just 6 at one point. And then not at one point for a long time. The Tanners have won on the run, and they're not relying on those open shots. They're getting open layups instead, which, if you're on a varsity basketball team, you make your open layups.
Red Raiders still have yet to score, as it is Casey handling the ball, and we've got it going and staying with the Red Raiders.
Number 34, junior Amari Williams into the game here.
Her first action of the night, as there'll be an inbound under the basket for the Red Raiders. Little hesitation now out to Vajokovic, who rattles it back out to the top of the key.
First appearance for sophomore Haley Zwicker also.
3 from Smith is off the front of the rim, and battled for is the rebound. It's a scramble. Multiple bodies on the floor.
Good fight there from a few substitutes, along with the leadership of Quayle. So 4 bench girls in here with Quayle, which shows how much Coach Sullivan trusts Quayle and her leadership.
Smith back to the inbound. It's Vajokovic again, who's inside, and layup with good defense is good.
And what a move by Djokovic there. Looked outside and went right back inside and got an open layup there, created by herself. Tuzla with the ball here, finds Williams. Williams will find Zwicker outside. A good fake, a shot, and it will be off. Did she call bank, Joey?
I don't know, but either way, that one counts, as it's a beautiful shot off the glass from Zwicker to answer the two-pointer just moments ago from the Red Raiders, as we've got a whistle.
Good rest there from Labissiere, for Labissiere, Hayden, and Morrison, as they've been working hard to create that initial run. Now relying on the bench gals to keep that going.
3:39 to go. Smith to inbound in a 25-8 game, right inside, and it's another layup for Melrose.
Melrose finding a few open pockets of space. If they can continue to do that, they might find success against this very hard defense of the Tanners. Morgan will shoot a 3, well contested, and finds it well short of the rim, as it looks to be no signal yet from the refs, as a few subs come in. for Woburn. It looks to be Woburn basketball here with Labissiere being the inbounder.
Labissiere will inbound, and it's inside to Quayle, who gets the ball knocked away. And Melrose will go on the fast break now with Smith handling the ball. Will pull up for a jumper, and that one is nothing but net.
Wow, Sophia Smith there. Very skilled with the ball and can shoot the ball well too. And she is the vocal point of their offense by far.
Hayden back into the game. She's got an open three opportunity, and it's no good. Rebounded by Smith. Melrose with a little bit of momentum here with 6 straight points.
And Joey, I remember Hayden last year against Brookline. Coach subbed her in. She didn't receive much playing time in that playoff run, but coach subbed her in, and she knew exactly how to shoot that basketball when they dished her in the clutch. And it was an offensive foul by Hayden herself there, as her effort and success on the court today have played very successfully.
That's right, Zeke, and it's a 13-point lead as Morrison will take the ball up after the inbound from Labissiere. She fakes a pass to the left now, gets it to Labissiere, who finds Morgan, and it's tipped by Smith, but now it's in the hands of McCarthy, who's off the mark, still battled for, and it's back to McCarthy again, who's inside on the post, and there's a foul call, and she'll go back to the line.
And now it's McCarthy, but it's everyone else. It's Tuzla who's in there in the scrap pile. It's Morgan in there. And they're getting all these rebounds, dishing them out. 2 players, and McCarthy, hard drive to the hoop, and she gets fouled as she takes 2 more free throws with 2:12 left in the half.
Tuzla able to get that gritty rebound, even though she had some size disadvantages. The first from McCarthy is good. Labissiere, Tuzalo, McCarthy, Morgan, and Morrison on the floor right now, as the second one is no good. Still a battle by Tuzalo, but this time Melrose ends up with it. It's number 1, Scarlett De Adio on the bring up of the ball. This one's no good, and it's a rebound by Morrison, who has to get around the defender. It's Hayden who shoots the 3. It's off the hands of a Melrose player, and Labissiere
looks like
will inbound from underneath the basket.
Morrison with her ball handling skills, very successful there when she got that rebound, surrounded by many players.
A set play with some motion off the inbound. This one goes to McCarthy, whose layup's no good. A battle for it. Sophia Smith of Melrose ends up with it, and they've got another possession. It's Deadio again, but this one's stolen. Morrison now with a chance to run another set for the Tanners, who finds Labissiere. Labissiere from distance. No good. Offensive rebound again inside to Morrison, rattles around, no good. And it's Deadio again with the set chance to run a play for the Red Raiders.
And Joey, when we go into the break, we'll talk about 2 interesting points. As Morrison steals the ball, he gets another opening. The pursuit on defense is just incredible. But the 2 interesting points that we'll talk about more during the break, as Labissiere gets another steal, and she will go into the paint with a spin move and put it up and will get fouled.
The foul there, if not...
Not a foul, actually. It's a travel from Labissiere. Interesting call.
Another opportunity for the Red Raiders as they get away with one. It might seem like, and it's a layup off the glass, and no good. Tanners get the ball back with 26 seconds and counting. Into the corner the ball goes, it's a double team. Morrison's left wide open from beyond the arc, but this one's no good. It'll be called out of bounds as it hits above the clock, and Sophia Smith will inbound it for Melrose with 16 seconds, and it'll be slow as Vajokovic.
And it looks like Labissiere will get the rebound here. Labissiere will put it up here, off the glass, and that will be the end of the half here. As a few points that we want to make here, so 2 positives, 2 negatives, Joey. I'll start with the first positive, and I think the Tanners have been so good on the glass, but we've been talking about that. And the second positive is their defense. Their defense is stifling. The 2 negatives, I feel like, is although her teammates are doing so well, Cindy Labissiere has yet to get going. She's in my opinion, their best player. Cindy Labissiere is so fun to watch, but yet to get going in this first half. Joey, what do you think about that?
I agree with what you're saying there, but with the Tanners still being up double digits, with Labissiere not being that much of a factor, I think exemplifies the depth that this Tanners team has and how they can still manage to put up not only a good fight but be winning ball games without having that much production out of one of their star players.
And it's so good you emphasize that, Joe, and it emphasizes the depth that this Lady Tanners team has. When you're not getting points from Labissiere, you're getting points from Quaileen McCarthy. When you're not getting points from McCarthy, you're getting points from Quaileen Labissiere. This team has camaraderie, has chemistry, and they all fight for each other. That's the first kind of negative, I feel like, Joey. The second negative is one that will start coming over time, but I think they could do better on their second chance points. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think the opportunities are definitely there, but I feel like some of the shots off of the second chances are sort of rushed layups right after getting the rebound. I think as they get into this second half, I think the best thing to look for is maybe to reset all the way out to the top of the key to someone like Labissiere or Morrison, who we've both seen handle the ball to this point in the game.
Joey, 28-12. What's the game plan for Woburn with such a big lead here?
I think you have to keep the same tight defense, and you can't really step off the gas pedal in either aspect of the game in offense or defense. If you take a little bit of a break on defense by the snap of a finger, you might have let this Melrose team back into the game and now have to worry about the more of an offensive output. I think the Tanners passing up to this point in the game has been nice, and they've looked to be playing very well together as a unit, and I think that's something that Coach Sullivan will speak on at halftime, and I'm sure we'll see more of the same.
Yeah, Joey, this Melrose team, there's 2 divisions for our audience that doesn't know. The Middlesex League is 2 divisions, the Liberty Division and the Freedom Division. 6 schools in the Liberty Division, 6 schools in the Freedom Division. The Liberty Division has the bigger schools, and the Freedom Division has the smaller schools. Melrose is one of the smaller schools, so they will play them one time, and they will play the bigger schools twice. So interesting to see how they can capitalize against Melrose for this first game, for this one and only game against Woburn, and how they can capitalize with this opportunity to play against such a good basketball team and see what experience they can get with that.
Yeah, I think getting the opportunity to play a bigger school, being that smaller school, only serves as a purpose of motivation to say, hey, they might have not better opportunities, but a better gym or something of that matter, but the talent of this Red Raiders basketball team is still there, and they, I think, are coming out on the floor tonight to prove exactly that.
Interesting scenes here, Joey, in the studio, as the refs have made an appearance into the control room, which is extremely interesting why they'd be there. But that will be something else to talk about in the future. But yeah, 5:30 left in halftime, as the score is 28-12. Joey, that's a big score, 28-12. This girls Tanner team continues their scoring and their defense and all of these things. How do they sustain that in the second half?
I think the team chemistry is going to be a major point heading into the second half. Is one of the major things you don't want to do when you're in this situation is let up off of the gas pedal in that situation and let a team like Melrose back into the game.
And some numbers from the first half from our control room guy, Anthony Yulio. McCarthy with 10 points, 6 rebounds. Hayden with 5 points. Labissiere not doing much on the scoring end, but 3 steals. 3 steals. Big player for their defense. Quayle, 5 points, 3 rebounds. Morrison and Zwicker, 2 points each. Morrison and Zwicker. Zwicker came off the bench, didn't receive many minutes, but scored a bank shot right away. What does that say about the team as a whole with their bench, their depth?
I think being able to step up as one more of the depth players when you realize that your starters might be having a slow start to their night, you need to be able to pick them up in a way to keep yourselves competitive in the game. And there's 2 more numbers I want to take a look at. It's the turnover numbers for each teams. As we mentioned, the active hands for the Lady Tanners. The Melrose turnover total at the half is 13. The majority of those, I'm sure, are coming from the steals from the active hands of the guards and forwards like Labissiere and Morrison. And I think that's another positive you can look at going into the half, and something that I'm sure Coach Sullivan and company want to keep the same.
And Joey, I always love how a team's playing, but you always want to talk about how they can get better. And there's not much room for improvement for this Tanners team, but there still is that. 13 turnovers for Melrose is insane. Their lack of being able to handle the ball is not very great, and Woburn are capitalizing on that. But 5 turnovers for Woburn, I wouldn't say that's amazing number. I wouldn't say that's like a 2 or a 3. I think in the second half that they can get that down to a 2 or a 3. That would be impressive, and that would be an emphasis point of how they got better throughout the game. So yeah.
Yeah, Zeke, I think that's definitely something that the Lady Tanners want to look at, is I'm sure in a matter of moments that we back out and start to warm up for the second 16 minutes of play, as they'll go into the second half with a 16-point lead.
2 minutes left in counting till the second half will get underway. And who would you like to see more of in the second half?
I think there's a possibility we could see more from Amber Hayden, and she's had her open looks, but I'm sure eventually she'll start to want to knock some of those down, and I'd be willing to say that I think she's going to definitely knock down some of those open threes, as the movement off the ball for the Tanners has looked good up to this point, and I'm sure that that's something they'll keep trying to work on, is the offensive rotation to find the best available shot on each and every possession.
And the Tanners have nine girls active tonight. I'd like to see a lineup of the 4 bench girls and one of their starters, because the lead is so great right now, but you don't want to risk injury. They already have Hannah Surratt injured in a boot. They already have Morrison, who is questionable coming into this game. They already have Jasmine Morgan, who's one of their great juniors, injured, and Samantha Sherburne, who is also injured, with with sophomore Janalessi Cepeda, who is also injured. So a lot of girls on that list. So I'd like to see the bench play a big role in the second half, other than relying on girls like Cindy Labissiere, Megan Quayle, Amber Hayden, Morrison.
Yeah, we saw that type of lineup with Quayle being the veteran in that sense, and I think you're right, Zeke, in saying that getting the opportunity to play some of the younger girls will only start to emphasize the depth even more, as I think we are now moments away from getting ready to start the second half of play, with the Tanners starting the half up 28-12. Once again, their leading scorer is McCarthy with 10 points. She also has 6 rebounds. The leading scorer for Melrose with a total of 4 is Vlajokovic.
Djokovic with a few good moves there in that first half. It'll be interesting to see how much Melrose relies on her and Smith if they want to be somewhat successful. As the second half is underway, Joey.
Hayden takes the side out and dumps it off to Labissiere, who's dribbling around the top of the key. Back to Labissiere. Hayden on the elbow inside to Quayle, back out. A lot of different girls able to get hands on the ball. It's Labissiere who misses a floater, and Sophia Smith will take up the first possession for the Red Raiders, and it's battled for quickly and stolen by Labissiere, who's looking, and it's off the hands of McCarthy, and it's
out of bounds there. Just missed the pass there. Good steal by Labissiere, once again with her active hands, and that moves the steals up to 4 for the talented senior.
More full court pressure, and Hayden ended up with the ball, but she may have been out of bounds, as it looks like the Red Raiders will retain possession. And Smith on the double team again, looking for the open girl, and the jumper is off the rim and no good, rebounded by Hayden. She's almost mauled immediately. Labissiere driving in, now kicks it back out to Hayden. Hayden moving it around to Labissiere. Labissiere finds the elbow, no good. Hayden hits the deck and it'll go out of bounds, and the Red Raiders will get possession back with 6:53 to go, and the score still remaining 28-12.
Another point to make here for this Tanners team to start improving as much as they're playing well is start hitting that open three. They haven't hit an open three yet this game, but that will be an important thing to emphasize.
Smith gets the ball back in play, active hands again. This one's blocked. It's a triple team and another steal. Labissiere running the fast break. She drives in on contact, no good. Rebound goes to Quayle, who fights India. Almost tried to get it back to Quayle, instead it's stolen. And Melrose back on the fast break inside. Back out now to number 23, Megan Casey, who gets it back to Diadio. Diadio tries to find a teammate inside. It's battled for. McCarthy ended up with it, and it is going in the Tanners' way. And it'll be an inbound from Hayden.
A continuation of the trends in the first half of the great defense from the Tanners as they retain possession as Morgan comes into the game, which was also a pattern in the first half.
Hayden with the inbound. Morgan trying to get across half court with speed, but it's stolen. And Smith with the layups, no good. Offensive board, also no good. Casey with the rebound, and she'll shoot 2 on the foul.
And a small mistake there by Morgan, a little careless with the dribble, but she's been good overall today. So, interesting to see how she bounces back from that. That free throw way off from 23, Megan Casey from Melrose. 5:59 remaining in the third quarter here at Woburn Public Media Center Studios and the Woburn High School Gym.
Second free throw only finds net, but it's no good, and we still remain scoreless here in the second half with 5:59 to go. Hayden with the bounce pass inbound to Labissiere, back to Hayden, who's getting a chance to bring it across half court. She's open again, this time from the top of the key, off the front of the rim, no good. Second chance opportunity, no good. This time the rebound bounces out to Smith, who gets it into a three opportunity, which is deflected, and inside it goes. Two defenders there, but it does not matter as the layup is good for the Red Raiders.
And Labissiere all the way out to Quayle. And what a pass there by Labissiere. She always has her head up, looking for passes and looking for runners.
Great conversion there by Quayle as the quick jumper from Vlahovic is no good. And Morrison sprints across half court, and it's an open Hayden again. No good. Rebound goes to Melrose, and they'll slow it down, and Diadio will take it up. Diadio got her by Morrison. Active hands. This time it ends up in a foul.
Morrison with a reaching foul there on Diadio as two subs come in for Melrose. Looks to be number 25, Lily Nolan, back into the game. She hit that 1-3. And Sophia Smith back into the game. Their great offensive player.
Back to Diadio, who gives it back to the inbounder, Smith.
Brooke Tuzlo into the game for Shannon McCarthy.
Nolan ball handling. She got Morgan moving the wrong way, but it's stolen by Cindy Labissiere, who once again finds herself leading the fast break. This time takes it herself, and flying in for the rebound is McKenna Morrison, who gets it back outside, and the Tanners will reset. It finds the hands of Morgan, who then rotates it back out to Morrison. Ball on the ground, fight for it. And it'll be a jump ball in favor of Melrose.
Players got tangled there, and the first jump ball of the game will go in favor of Melrose. Those 50-50 balls, Woburn have been getting to those. So a surprise that Melrose finally gets to one.
This time Melrose able to avoid the pressure, and they'll try to get something started. Nolan at the top of the key steps back towards the elbow. Inside to Diadio, who's denied by Morrison, and it will be Morgan or Tuzlo, excuse me. And now it's a floater by Quayle is no good. And no points on the offensive end there for the Tanners.
Quayle looking to score there in the paint. Unsuccessful, but successful throughout the game as she has a total of 7 points.
Vlahovic tries to find Smith inside, and that pass is unsuccessful, and it'll go back towards the Tanners as it last went off of Smith. She looks to be a little shaken up, but with the help of teammates is up on the floor, and we'll have a quick timeout, maybe.
Looking at it, both benches look confused. Looks like Smith was looking at her nose there for a bloody nose as she sits on the bench, and she looks to be in a lot of pain. But two timeouts. Timeout for Melrose as both teams look to reset. Joey, what did you think of that start of the first quarter, the third quarter?
Not much offense happening, but I think it's a testament to the defensive changes that Melrose may have made at halftime, and the defense looks just about as stout as it was from the start for the Tanners.
That one play for the points that the Tanners got was a steal from Labissiere, a dish out to Quayle, who was on the run, and Quayle laid it in. That seems to be a very common theme for the Tanners. And it looks like Smith is still to be in pain in this, but she will stay on the bench as Labissiere, Hayden, Tuzlo, McCarthy, and Morrison will come on to the court for the Tanners. As we get back to action,
The inbound is along the floor and a whistle is blown. Hayden will get a second chance to inbound. This one goes to Morrison, who's quickly double-teamed. Melrose looking to up the pressure. She gets through the pressure, however, and goes inside to McCarthy, who finds Tuzolo, and it's no good. Rebound Melrose. Back along. Diadio fires a three from the top of the key, no good. Rebound is fought for on a double-teamed is Tuzolo, and Labissiere now ends up with it on the opposite end of the court and gets it across to Hayden, who drives along with the screen. That's Morrison, who floats up the floater, and it's no good. Offensive rebound battled for, whistle blown. Subs will come in. Morrison and Hayden, Tuzolo, will exit.
And it looks to be that the boys' game has finished in Melrose and they've gotten back on the bus, so we'll get you a score update on that game as soon as possible.
Labissiere inbounds. Three by Hayden is off the rim. Labissiere's there perfectly, and she hits the little mid-range jumper. The 31st and 32nd points tonight for the Tanners, with 2:36 and counting. Diadio handling the ball over to the elbow, driving towards the corner, ball loose off the hands of Hayden, and Melrose will retain possession with an inbound under the basket coming. Inbound goes to Diadio, who finds it back to the corner. It's Nolan who's driving along the top of the key. Double team quickly, whistle blown, and it's hard contact. Red Raiders will get a second chance to inbound here. As we're still waiting for the whistle. Now the play is live. It's number 10 who gets the ball inside to Diadio. It was number 10, Chloe Gentile, on the pass to Diadio.
And we do have a scoring update for you for that boys varsity game. Unfortunately, in the boys' first game of the season, they will drop it and go to 0-1, losing 52-38 against these Melrose Red Raiders. So let's see, with Hayden knocking the ball out of bounds, let's see if the Lady Tanners can make us happy on this beautiful Tuesday night in Woburn.
Vajokic will get ready to inbound. It looks to be a set play for Nolan, whose jump shot is no good, but it's an offensive rebound by Gentile, and it's back out to the guard Diadio, who takes a mid-range jumper, and it's no good. Battled for and out of bounds, staying in favor of the Red Raiders, and they'll get a third consecutive possession opportunity. This one's loose and taken in by Morrison, who finds McCarthy, who's fouled, and she'll have a third opportunity at the free throw line.
And you know, we've seen McCarthy at the free throw line all night, it feels. Giannis Antetokounmpo, Joel Embiid-like. Her big presence in the paint, the way she's strong, tall, she makes things happen as a whole for this Tanners team. She didn't start last year. She played a good amount of minutes, but this year she seems to be making everyone know her name as she knocks down the first free throw.
Rattles around, but it falls. 33-14, 152. A low-scoring, defensive-minded quarter, but no matter to the Tanners as they now find themselves up 20.
Indeed, Joey. It's just pure domination as Hayden steals the ball here, scrambles around, and Vlahovic will get back onto the ball with Melrose.
She'll try to float it in. It's deflected, and it ends up in the hands of Hayden, who way up to Labissiere for a wide open layup.
And so exciting. 2 plays in a row where Melrose barely can even get it past the three-point line, Joey.
Now hard defense on the other end for Labissiere, and she almost forces it to go back the Tanner's way. But lucky for the Red Raiders, they'll retain possession.
Impressive by this Tanner's team.
Set play again. This time it's Lakovic, who now finds a cutting Nolan. Her off-balance layup's no good. The second chance layup is good.
Feels like Nolan has gotten all 5 of their points. That's how inefficient the Melrose Red Raiders are at scoring.
Morrison at the top of the key. Labissiere in the corner driving in. Back out to the other end. It's Hayden who had another opportunity for a jump shot. No good. Jump ball is the call, and I believe this one will go to the 10. No, it will go to the Red Raiders.
And Joey, like I said, pure domination in itself. The boys team, Joey. Let's talk about that for a quick second. How do we think the boys team can bounce back in their next game after a loss to Melrose?
I mean, I think you have to look towards the athleticism that the boys team has in JJ Merlane, who we saw on the football field, all on those streams, and also the quarterback of not only the basketball team, but the quarterback of the football team, and Brett Tuzolo, who is another guy that I think the offense has to run through, as the Tanners will get another opportunity for possession.
As it's funny, Joey, we're just rambling around about the boys team because this girls team is just purely dominating this game right now. I mean, it's pretty impressive as Morgan will get the ball here and dish it out to Morrison. Morrison will kick it out to Tuzlo. Tuzlo will take a 3, and that is the first 3 of the basketball game for the Tanners. How do we feel? How are we feeling, Joey, about that?
That's a beautiful stroke there from Tuzlo, and she nailed it.
Tuzlo, Brooke Tuzlo, the sister of basketball and football star Brett Tuzlo, as you might understand from the last names.
Just like we mentioned at the beginning of the football season, it's the same situation for the basketball boys, as they'll be without Anthony Travers for what is probably the season.
Most definitely the season. He tore his ACL in football training camp, which puts you out for mostly at least 6 months. And that is if you're lucky. That is if you're lucky with. And they will add a few seconds left onto the clock for the remainder of the third quarter. And at the break, we'll talk a little bit more about the boys team and Anthony Travers.
You know, something you're going to get from Travers is still that energy no matter what his situation is. You saw it on the sideline at football every time the Tanners found the end zone. He'd show the energy, clapping it up, and he'll do the same on the basketball bench for sure.
Well, 34-16 at half, at the end of the third quarter, might I say. And it's not looking close. It's really not looking close. I'd love to see Coach Sullivan put in the bench girls, Riley Morgan, Amari Williams, Brooke Tuzolo, Haley Zwicker. Let's see some more threes fly from Brooke Tuzolo, because it looked like she had a sweet stroke there.
Yeah, we'll see what the lineup comes out to be for the Tanners as we head into the final 8 minutes of action momentarily after the final 4 seconds of the third.
And let's talk more about the boys team here. 3 captains, Travers, Dylan, Tuzolo. Dylan, obviously an athlete, as we know, Joey. How can Dylan play an impact in the season for the boys?
I think his leadership on the court and off the court, for that matter, is the biggest thing that a guy like Dylan can give you. Even when he's struggling, like at times he did during the football season, you see him still talking it up as much as he can to keep the spirits high.
And look at that, Joey. Almost like I spoke it into existence. The 4 bench gals in with looks to be Amber Hayden. Amber Hayden gets the steal here.
Can't let it go in time as there was contact but no foul. That'll be the end of the third quarter. The final 8 minutes just about set and ready to go after a short break with the Tanners up 18 by a score of 34-16.
Interesting, Joey. It almost looked like the end of the third quarter with that long timeout with 3 seconds left. Interesting how they did that at the end of the first quarter with 22 seconds left in the third quarter. But hey, that's the coach's job to decide that. Well, we reached the end of the third quarter with a score of 34-16. The Tanner girls well out in front in this game. As we said before, the boys team lost 54-38. But it's looking great for this Tanner's girls team. What do you like for them in their up and coming games?
I mean, I think right now we're gonna get a look at the younger girls, as you said, like Amari Williams or Haley Zwicker or Riley Morgan will maybe get a chance to run some of the plays through her now, as she'll maybe get the opportunity to handle the ball, as they'll let maybe some of the seniors like Labissiere and Hayden and Quayle take a breath with what seems like this game being well in hand. Hayden does still look to be on the floor.
With Labissiere and Quayle. Interesting that they're going to go back to their starting lineup here, up 18.
So nothing like we had speculated, but
Nothing like it. But with 4 seconds, Coach Sullivan loved it. So, interesting. McCarthy will get the ball at the elbow here. Hayden out to Morrison. McCarthy squares up, goes in for a shot. Well short. Out to Melrose. Daudio. Daudio will send it to Vlahovic. And Quayle just rips the ball from her, and that will be a jump ball, and that will be Melrose basketball here with 7:34 left in the game.
inside pass to Nolan. Jumper no good. Rebound. Second chance. Casey foul. Offensive foul, and the Tanners will take over.
And Morrison here will bring up the basketball into McCarthy, out to Hayden. Hayden will take a three here and drill it. Three-pointer for Amber Hayden to add on to Brooke Tuzelo's.
The score now standing at 42-16. The inside pass back out to the elbow for Diadio, who drives in and is denied, but it's a blocking foul. And free throws for the Red Raiders upcoming.
Daudio at the line here. We'll drill the second free throw there as Quayle will inbound it to Morrison. Hayden to Morrison. Resets. Morrison will drive. Look Labissiere in the corner. Morrison looks wide open. McCarthy into the paint and will take a shot, and she traveled there, and it will give possession back to the Melrose team. 42-17 with 6:42 left in the game.
It was a double team that looked to cause McCarthy to take an extra step. Loose ball.
Morrison will fight for the basketball here, but will just step out of bounds. And Daudio will be the inbounder. Daudio finds Megan Casey. Back to Daudio. Looks Megan Casey at the elbow, will drive. Tries to get it in to number 10, Chloe Gentile, but it will turn it over. Good hustle by Amber Hayden there.
Getting on the floor to make sure she gets possession of the ball. Open jumper by Morrison is good. Loose ball again. Nolan now handling. Inside stolen by Hayden. And a whistle blown.
And it's a double dribble there as 3 bench girls come in. Tuzolo, Morgan, Zwicker into the game with the 2 remaining starters, Morrison and McCarthy. So 4 sophomores and 1 junior. Wow, this team is young, deep, and knows what they're doing. As Tuzolo with the steal here will dish it off to McCarthy. McCarthy finds Morrison, will find Zwicker, and Zwicker turns it over. Finds 25 Lily Nolan will find Vlahovic. Vlahovic will look for a shot. Good pass there, good cut by Nolan, but Tuzolo with the rebound.
Tuzolo showing a nice bit of energy off the bench here. Zwicker at the elbow, and no one's there, and a lot of bounce with Amari Williams set to check in and she'll take out McKenna Morrison, and we now have a full lineup
from the bench plus Amber Hayden, because only 9 girls active tonight. Daudio dribbles around, finds number 21 Sofia Di Colagaro, and Tuzolo will bring up the ball, crosses half court, and just a little bit of a careless pass to Zwicker, but the Tanners will retain possession with Tuzolo being the inbounder.
Tuzolo with the side out. It'll be interesting to see who gets the ball here. It's Zwicker. Loose ball.
They're going to say it's tipped, and Zwicker will get the ball back. Resets, finds Morgan, looks McCarthy around the free throw line. McCarthy will go into the paint. Wild shot. Will get it back, though. And that is number 22, Brooke Tuzolo, with a sweet stroke again. 5 points off the bench for Tuzolo.
Great to see the production out of a young teammate like Tuzolo to be able to get that scoring when there's a younger group of girls.
And McCarthy with a block and a steal there. So impressive from the young sophomore, as looks like Hayden will come in and take her place.
Tried to get it to Morgan, I believe, but the foul caused the pass to go awry.
Hayden will find Zwicker at the top of the key. Back to Zwicker. Look, a wide open Tuzolo at the wing. Tuzolo saves it from going out of bounds. Tries to find Williams. Knocked away. Hayden for 3 again. Just off the back of the rim. Finds number 10, senior captain Chloe Gentile for Melrose. A little scramble for the ball there. Back to Vlahovic.
Hayden hit the deck on that one.
And Morgan with the steal. Looks to be patient. Puts up a shot. But a nice rebound by Tuzolo. Williams will get the ball around the 3-point line. Hayden for 3 again. And we'll short again. Melrose will bring up the ball past half court. Need to be quick if they want points in this game. A 3 put up and good from Melrose there. Impressive stroke by number 21, Sofia Di Colagaro, who came off the bench and looked to start playing once the score got out of hand. So interesting how Melrose want to look at that in the future. Tuzolo outside. Zwicker to Morgan. Morgan shoots a 3. And off the bank and in. The bank is open tonight, Joey.
Morgan answers the 3 from Di Colagaro right away.
2:38 left remaining in the game.
Nolan's gotten the chance to handle the ball more the more she's been on the floor. Back to her now.
And it's DeColagar with the ball, and a steal by Tuzlo. Has Hayden to her right, and she's going to go all by herself. No foul called. Should have been a foul called. Number 21, DeColagar with the ball.
She slows it down, but still minimal time left to go here.
Finds 11, number 11, Alexandra Lehman. But there's another jump ball from the active defensive hands of the Woburn Tanners. And it will go to the Woburn Tanners. Amber Hayden, the inbounder, and Haley Zwicker ready to bring it up court.
Tanners will go as slow as they can here to melt away the final minute and change of this clock.
Williams calling for it around the free throw line.
Now she just tries to avoid off-ball contact, but we've got the ball going back to the Red Raiders.
And that looked to be a offensive 3-second violation of Williams.
90 seconds to go.
Morgan tested on defense here by 25 Lily Nolan. Nolan looks right, looks left, finds Alexandra Lehman. Lehman will drive into the paint. And of course, get it stolen by who other than Brooke Tuzlo. Tuzlo and McCarthy are really the highlights of this second half.
That's for sure, Zeke, as Tuzlo, as I've said, has been the energy with the younger group of teammates getting the opportunity to be on the floor. Jumper by Hayden is off the mark.
Tuzlo with the offensive rebound once again. And a foul here looks to be on Melrose. And Joey, don't you love watching Coach Sullivan? It's 44-20 with 57 seconds left in the game. And that man is still on a knee figuring out what's the best way I can help my team be successful as Tuzlo misses the first free throw.
Any teaching moment he gets the opportunity to use, he will use it. And
Sullivan, as they call him Sully, has coached all his life at the amateur level, in the high school level, coached youth. He's just been all around the world of basketball, and he is so experienced.
Anytime he can help the girls try to improve something, he will. As Nolan fires from the top of the key, no. Tuzlo looks to slow it down as she reverses the course of action. Final 30 seconds.
Hayden finds Morgan. Morgan brings it back to Zwicker at the top of the key, resets, finds Hayden, looks Williams. Look at the passing movement. They're just trying to run out the clock here as Morgan takes a three. Bang! 50-20. What a statement win from these Tanners. 52-20. My correction.
Morgan got bumped, but no foul called, no matter, as the final score of tonight's ball game, the first home game for the Lady Tanners and the first home win, the first overall win, by a final score of 52-20. The Tanners have little to complain about from that 32-point win.
As the Tanners will move to 1-1, thank you from the Woburn Public Media Studios. I'm Zeke Allman. This is Joey Matroni. We thank you, and we hope you have a good Tuesday night.